welcome to The Trend. I'm Rebecca Granet. My guests today are Samantha Barks and Max Irons, who star in the new movie Bitter Harvest, out February 24th. Samantha and Max, it is so good to have you here.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. Of course, this movie is great because it gives us the opportunity to talk about a historical tragedy, which has often drawn comparisons to the Holocaust. And it gives us the opportunity to sort of bring awareness to it because it's something that's often not discussed. Is that true?
Absolutely. I didn't know about it, and not many people really did sort of know about it, which is like a big... Oh, I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay.
So it's an incredible tragedy because between, they think, 2 to 10 million, it varies, people died during this, and it's to have not heard about something like that, and then, you know, when you find out that it was purposefully kept under wraps for so many years, and there is a reason why we don't know about it, and it's not, you know, something that we all, of course, should be completely aware of, is, yeah, it's baffling that could be kept.
Right,
like
so quiet.
Yeah.
And Max, just so we can give everybody sort of some context here, this movie, Bitter Harvest, is set in the Ukraine.
Set in the Ukraine between 1932 and 1933, a period that was called the Holodomor, which means death by starvation. And as Samantha said, the exact numbers of how many people perished during that time are unknown because records weren't kept, and a conscious effort was made to stem the flow of information both coming into the country and leaving the country. So only during the fall of the Soviet Union, 1991, did the truth of the nature of the tragedy start to be revealed. But even now, only 24 countries around the world are actually recognizing it for what it was, which was a man-made famine, a genocide. You know, yeah.
Yeah, and so you both, as stars of the movie, get the opportunity to sort of bring that truth to the public. When you got the script, what was your research process like in learning about this in order to sort of portray the intensity that these characters require?
Well, I think straight away from hearing about the Holodomor, which, you know, not being aware of it, I was straight on the internet looking up everything I could find about it because I felt horrendously guilty that I didn't know about this, as I think everybody who I've spoken to has. So you kind of want to find out as much information as you can, and our director, George, is Ukrainian and has, you know, such a passion for the Ukrainian history and culture that he was a great source of information because he'd guide you to the right places and gave us so many great things to read and study because he's, you know, it's a big part of him and his sort of ancestry, and it was lucky to have that. And, you know, we got to shoot in the Ukraine, so that was obviously amazing to have that authenticity and to be working with Ukrainian people who had stories to share about it. And it can't get more sort of close than that when you're sort of researching something.
What did they tell you? Was there something that they told you that maybe impacted you or kind of hit you hard?
Well, it's funny, you know, you start your research, you read a script, and then you go online and you look at sources, various sources, you read a couple of books, this, that, and the other, but then you get out to Ukraine, and typically films are shot in a studio, or certainly in a country that has nothing to do with the story that's being told, but we were in fact in historically accurate locations. So that informs what you're doing. But furthermore, the crew, a percentage of the cast, a high percentage of the cast, are also national Ukrainians. So, not first-hand experience, but certainly their parents or their grandparents would have been directly
affected by this.
Massively affected by what happened. So they have personal stories. And frankly, there's nothing quite like sitting across from somebody and seeing the conviction behind the stories they're telling you about what happened to the people that they loved. And that gets in your bones and in your blood in the way that sort of a textbook never can. So it really was wonderful being out there.
What was your method sort of as getting into these characters? You play Yuri and you play Natalka in the movie. Where did you go? What place did you kind of go in order to bring out the emotions that these characters are requiring?
Well, I think it comes from, you know, doing your homework, really knowing about the culture, about the history, about everything that was happening to these people in that time. And then I think it's, you know, it's in the script, these characters, you know, their backstories. I think you just, for me, I approach every scene as honestly as I can and look for the real truth in it, because these are true stories. So it's you want to honour them and do them justice. And I don't think in terms of emotionally, where can you pull that from? I don't think you have to look very hard, because it would be strange to not
just feel it automatically.
Be feeling this, because it's real. It happened to these people. It's not sort of a far-fetched thing that you need to find something for. You're kind of there. It's so authentic. The vehicles used were in the same locations that these things happened. It's all very sort of close to home, and when you're stood in those fields, it's, you know,
you must feel like you're transformed and part of it in there.
Yeah, your heart just breaks constantly. That this was you're doing something, you're reenacting something almost that happened. It's constantly heartbreaking every day, I think, for me.
And for you, the same?
It's a funny one, because there is, you know, as I was saying, you're in Ukraine and that informs what you're doing. That's a wonderful thing. But there is a pressure that comes with that, because you feel duty-bound to tell people's story and inject as much honesty into that as you possibly can. However, if you think about that too much, if you linger on that pressure too much as an actor, it can become overwhelming. So you sort of let the landscape and where you are infect what you're doing, but also, filming, fortunately, is unlike theatre in that you just have to tell a brief moment, 5 or 6 seconds, walking from A to B and dealing with the reality that you have in front of you. So you don't have to take in the whole tragedy and tell that story in a matter of seconds.
And for the two of you, you sort of portray this love story set within this tragic time. What do you think the love story does for your characters? How does it allow them to sort of process what's going on in the movie?
Go on, then.
Well, I think that love that they have for each other, that strength, was for my character what got her through, what got her through day to day, what helped her survive, because it is that strength that you can give someone else, your family, your loved ones, that kind of can get you through those situations. So that you know, that for me was a big part of their strength. It is for many people, and desperate, or when they feel completely helpless, it's that love that kind of can get you through and give you hope, I think, when there isn't much hope around.
It's exactly that. It's I think audiences and actors and everyone is a little wary of manufactured love stories in order to help tell a historical story, to jazz it up a little, make it more interesting for people. When in fact, you know, when you look at the bleak chapters of history, the forces that propel people to move forward are often very simple. Hunger, love. Love is one of those huge things. You know, people go that extra mile. They endure that suffering that little bit longer. They hold their breath that little bit longer to protect those they love. And you see that all over the world, even today. People doing unimaginable things to keep the people that they love safe.
So it's an essential element of a larger story.
I think so, and it's an honest component of what makes us human and what makes us survive that little bit longer.
And Max, your character, art is a big part of your character in the movie.
Yeah.
And it's interesting, it's one of the wonderful themes that I think comes out of this movie, which is telling your truth through your art. For you both, as an actress, as an actor, is this your art? Is telling the truth of what's been going on historically, and sort of, is this your way of being able to share that with the world?
God, art's a grand word. It's always it's funny. But Yuri could use art. You know, when you're under the oppression of the Soviet Union, freedom. There's no such thing as freedom of speech. So art, music, story, metaphor, you know, these are things that allow you to communicate the truth of the situation indirectly. So that's why what he was doing was important. As far as what we're doing, you know, movies are made for so many reasons. Sometimes you go to the theatre to laugh or to cry, but it's lovely as actors being able to tell a story that affected so many people and is largely unknown, and hopefully educate one or two people along the way.
And that's what I was going to ask Samantha as well. Before we transition to something a little bit more lighthearted, our 10 for 10, what is it that you hope people will feel or get out of this when they do go and see the movie?
I think that the main thing is it's an education of this time. I think, along with, you know, many other themes throughout the movie, if, like Max said, if, you know, a few more people can know about this, then that's a great thing, because I felt ashamed to not know about this. And through learning, through reading the script and working on the film, I feel lucky to have been educated on this, horrendous tragedy, which I think they deserve definitely for their story to be known and told, because so many people suffered and died in this horrendous event in history that for me it's just, if people knowing about it and honouring those people is huge, I think.
So in addition to portraying these emotionally complex characters in a time of tragedy, you both have your own lives and you have a lot going on. So I want to transition to the 10 for 10 so we can get to know you both a little bit better as well.
I'm nervous.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. It's 10 questions, 10 seconds for each. Each one of you is going to get one, so we'll do one for Samantha and then one for Max.
You get 10 seconds to answer the question.
Essentially, yes. We won't get too hard on you if you take 12. So.
I'll throw a chocolate at you when I sense 10 seconds is up.
See, she knows. That's why they're here. It's for that reason.
Just don't stop short. Water.
Yeah, well,
Water.
that's the
in your
best
face.
Yeah.
All right, Samantha, are you ready? This one's for you.
Yes.
We're going to start you off easy.
Okay.
Singing or acting?
No way, absolutely couldn't. I couldn't. Well, let's say acting, because what I love about singing is acting through song. So that's my favourite thing, is to tell a story through a song. So that's still acting. So I'll say
Fair. So you found the loophole. So we'll give this to Max. So you get half of a.
Is this good that I have this? Is this
No,
winning?
this is good.
I'm winning? I'm winning.
Because if she didn't answer the question, you get to throw it at her, but she answered it sort of like with a loophole, so you got half.
it means
We're
I'm
halfway
winning.
there.
Yeah,
It means you're
Thank you
winning.
very much. Okay.
Max, acting or modeling?
Oh, God, that's a horrible question. Acting, far and away. Yeah.
Good. Samantha, your favorite line that your character says in Bitter Harvest?
I can get chocolate.
Yeah, because he answered it properly. So.
Oh, I'm winning.
My favourite line from the film.
Come on, think. There's so many to choose from.
The one that I remember is.
Was it when you were singing Ukrainian, the folk song?
Yeah.
Because you could do that now.
Oh, he's put me on the spot. This is over 10 seconds.
But Max and I planned this beforehand,
Yeah.
so...
I mean, it's always
Not taking the
everyone
bait.
always puts me on the spot trying to do the Ukrainian
Yeah.
song, folk song. It's like, I don't want to disrespect it by not
Trying
doing
hard
it
enough.
perfectly.
All right, well then give us the consolation prize. Give us a line the way you did it in the movie that you liked.
No, I'd rather do the song. You would? Yeah.
Okay, give us like a few bars
Okay.
then.
It was Misets na nebi. I'm just doing one line. But that's quite good.
So good.
That was...
Shut up.
I feel like you talked through that.
Yeah. 3 chocolates.
3 chocolates.
3 chocolates.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Max, in your opinion, the most interesting scene that you were able to film in Bitter Harvest?
Oh, the most interesting scene. God, help me.
Train. I think the escape was.
There was an escape.
Fascinating.
Escape, sort of the Great Escape, the Steve McQueen movie. That's a bad example.
Okay.
But, yeah. I remember for the film we shot a scene where I had to run through a freezing cold field in my boxer shorts, minus 25 degrees.
Okay.
That never made the film. Completely unnecessary.
I don't know when that happened.
I can't remember the context of why Yuri was running
Right.
through the field in his boxer shorts.
Are you kidding? And you had to do this? This
I
must have
think
been
it
like
was-
hours of doing
It
this
was possibly a bizarre form of punishment.
I think your sort of
Yeah,
your
I think it
action
might
stuff's
have
very
been.
cool as well. It must have been cool to do.
There was, yeah.
I would assume you would at least talk to the director about that and say, hey,
They don't ask me
are
anything.
you kidding me?
They just assume I'll do it.
Samantha, best piece of advice your parents gave you on getting into the field?
Well, I don't know if it's necessary about getting into the field because they don't know about the industry. I was sort of the first one, and they're so excited and supportive of it. But my dad always used to say, well, 2 things. He'd say, nothing's for free, which I always loved. And I was like, yes, it is, because if
Yes,
someone
it
gets me a
is.
chocolate, it's free. But it's like, but that's not free because I had to answer a question. So it's like
That's
technically.
fair.
And then he always says,
Fair.
the harder I work, the luckier I get. Because, that's something I love. Because people go, oh, I know.
That is nice.
That's so lucky.
I
So lucky. He's like, no,
love
but the
that.
harder I work, the luckier I get. And I think that's something I always try to live by because that's,
Yeah.
nothing's
Good
for
advice
free.
for all of us
Yes.
to take, too. Max,
Yeah.
the strangest thing or custom you think Americans do?
I have one.
You do?
Oh,
No,
come
you
in,
go.
come
No,
in,
no,
come
no.
in. Strangest things that Americans do. These are trap questions I've got here.
No.
Oh God.
I can
promise
nip in.
you.
Go on, nip
I'll
in.
take one for the team and then you can take one of my.
Go for it.
Right. In the toilets,
Yes.
why are the lines?
Yeah, what is with
why
that?
why are the lines? You shut the door and I can see everybody.
There is.
It's
but
all
and
very
also,
strange.
in the
there's
stall itself on the
huge
edge.
gap at the bottom.
There is a gap, so I'm making eye contact with everybody, and then the door's like this short, it like literally like covers you mid-hit. It's like
We value our privacy in England.
yeah, there might as well be no door. So that would be my.
I value my privacy
what's
too, but I
happening.
don't think I knew any better. So I think this is what I'm used to.
Just instinctively, you must
Yeah.
go, this is ever so
You must go.
uncomfortable.
It's really
why is
awkward.
someone like we're having eye time right now? Why are we doing this?
Good one.
Yeah,
That is,
that's a good one.
You are cleaning up.
Well, welcome.
Samantha, all right, we're gonna do these quickly. Samantha, something we should know about Max.
Oh, well, he's. I don't want to
Get it right, because I'm going to take all...
Yeah.
He's amazing. He's an amazing guy. He's so incredibly intelligent, as well as being a fantastic actor, which to work with is just amazing. But his intelligence is like, whew, he's so interesting to talk to, and he can sort of, any subject, he sort of knows, in my eyes, everything about it, and he has these incredible facts. They're like, where on earth did you pluck that out and store that from? He just sort of, in my eyes, knows sort of everything about everything. So he's incredibly intelligent, and that's
she have the
always
whole
fascinating.
box?
Yes, would you like all the chocolate? We will
I'd
come
love
back
all
with
the
a new...
chocolate. I'd love all the chocolate.
Nicest
Max,
thing.
you have a chance to return the favor. Your question is what we should know about Samantha.
What we should know about Samantha. The thing about Samantha, which struck us on day one, was your emotional intelligence and your access to those emotions. It's I think that's the main criteria to be a great actress and a great actor, and that is the one.
So these two don't like each other, is what we've learned. And that's very sweet. Samantha, besides... Close your ears for this one. Besides for Max, because you've already got that dream taken care of, who is your ideal leading man going forward who you would like to play against in a movie?
Oh, I don't know. I really don't know. I couldn't say because there's so many. Oh, Joaquin Phoenix.
Okay, yeah.
Interesting choice.
I just, walk the line.
Interesting
I'm obsessed with
choice.
Johnny Cash. I'm obsessed with him. I think he'd be so interesting.
That would
so
be
interesting.
That would be a good one.
Just
We gotta start thinking about that. That would be a good one.
Yeah.
Now this is for both of you to end the 10 for 10. You did very well.
Okay.
A main lesson in the movie is about cherishing and fighting for freedom. So for each of you, something that you are thankful to be able to do because we are free to do it.
Oh, bloody hell.
We're ending on a light one.
Okay, well, I can go. I'm grateful that I get to vote as a woman. Like, because I'm now free to do that. That's an amazing thing that people fought very hard for me to get to do.
That's a great one. Yeah.
That is a very, very good one. Yes, this is a real opportunity to say the right thing, and I think I'm blowing it.
No, come on. Anything that you feel is fine.
I think that's a great answer.
Being able to vote.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's great. You don't have to top it. If it's great,
that's
it's
a
great,
great
and that's
answer.
it, right?
Yeah.
Well, Samantha and Max, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having us.
I want to make sure this is a very, very historically significant movie, Bitter Harvest, February 24th. Everybody go check it out. Thank you both again.
Thank you.
We're going to eat chocolates now. Here we go.
Straight away.